Is it just me, or is there nothing good to watch anymore? When was the last time you sat down to watch a movie or a TV show, put away your phone, and really paid attention? Really engaged with the material? Call me absolutely cooked, but I can't even remember the last time I watched Netflix without scrolling on my phone, texting friends, or even cooking or folding my laundry at the same time. But that is exactly what Netflix wants. In fact, they're counting on it. Over the past few years, Netflix has begun prioritizing and investing in a strategy that they call second screen content. What does this mean? To help you understand just how insane Netflix's second screen strategy is, let me read you this quote from an interview with filmmaker Justine Bateman. I've heard from showrunners who are given notes from the streamers that this isn't second screen enough, meaning that the viewer's primary screen is their phone and the laptop, and they don't want anything on your show to distract them from their primary screen. Because if they get distracted, they might look up, be confused, and go turn it off. I heard somebody use this term before. They want a visual muzak. Muzak, of course, referring to background music, elevator music. Netflix wants all of their films and shows to be the visual equivalent of elevator music. Content slop that you put on in the background and don't watch and don't pay attention to while you scroll away on your phone or get some work or studying done on your laptop. I guess everything's just becoming slop now. Freeze! Stop what you're doing right now. Are you scrolling on your phone? Are you eating lunch or doing your chores while this plays in the background? If so, you've been the victim of second screenability. Anyways, I hope it's clear why this is so off-putting. Don't get me wrong, I love to throw on a show and just rot on the couch every now and again. But for a massive platform, a massive studio like Netflix, to be prioritizing funding for shows that people aren't even meant to watch? What happened to making art? To people creating productions out of their passion and love for storytelling, out of their visceral desire to share their emotional experiences with the world? And that's not to say that there aren't genuinely fantastic artists working on these second screen productions. Each production has an extremely talented set of creatives, each that have that passion, that desire to perfect and share their craft. But when Netflix or any streaming or production company tells the production team that the movie or TV show that they're working on is not second screenable enough, is not similar enough to visual elevator music, as Bateman says, are these teams able to do their best work? No. And when these companies control the entire pipeline from beginning to end, then you end up doing what they ask. As a result of this prioritization of second screenability, Netflix and other streamers are pumping out content that is deliberately dumbed down. Content that is devoid of nuance, complex characters, rough edges, and experimental filmmaking, so that it's easier to follow even when you're not actually watching. Ever heard of the common phrase, show, don't tell? Show don't tell is dead. Because why show the audience what is happening when their eyes are glued to TikTok on their phones rather than on the movie? That will do. When they look up from their phones in 30 minutes, they won't have the context that they need to know what's going on. So they'll just stand up and turn it off. We can't have that. Instead, let's just write the entire world building, background, and exposition into the dialogue so that someone who's scrolling on their phone can feel like they have all the context that they need to understand the plot. Not only does this prioritization of second screenability cause productions to be deliberately dumbed down, it also causes production to be deliberately made less interesting. If the movie you have playing in the background gets too wild or too interesting or too out of the ordinary,
dinosaurs,
you might be tempted to look up from your phone or your laptop, at which point you'll realize, what am I even watching? And you'll turn it off. Nope, that won't do. Interesting is not second screenable enough. Netflix wants to create things that have the least chance of distracting you from your main screen. That way, it continues to play in the background while you send out emails or juggle apples or something. I don't know what the fuck you do in your free time. How did we get here? Just 10 years ago, Netflix was striving to be the best at producing the greatest, high quality, interesting, and critically acclaimed programming. And they did just that. Netflix shocked the industry by committing $100 million to Netflix original series House of Cards, to wild success. House of Cards was followed by Orange is the New Black, as well as numerous other critically acclaimed and highly received Netflix original productions. Netflix was a place that, in the words of CEO Ted Sarandos, was striving to become HBO before HBO could become us. HBO at the time being the gold standard of original programming. So, what happened? Do me a favor. In your mind, think about what you believe makes a movie good. Is it a compelling and interesting plot? Is it expansive and meticulous world building? Is it a nuanced and powerful message? Is it flashy visuals that keep you at the edge of your seat? Or maybe it's interesting and dynamic characters that interact with and respond to conflict and the world around them in human and relatable ways. If you thought of any of those things, you're wrong. The only thing that matters is how many people watch and how long they watch for. Forget narrative, forget plot, forget good writing. Numbers. That's what defines a high-quality movie. At least that is according to Sarandos, who says, "We take a consumer view of quality. I'm going by the numbers. How many people watch it? I mean, people watch the whole thing. Those two numbers, how many people watch and how long they watch for, are the guiding light for what shows and movies Netflix chooses to fund and what they choose to cancel." Netflix uses its massive trove of data about people's viewing habits to determine what types of shows to bankroll. Even the biannual Consumer Engagement Report, which Netflix has released to the public since 2023, has just two audience metrics: hours viewed and total views. Now you may be asking, what's wrong with measuring views and watch time and shooting for higher? Why would you even ask that? Do I really have to spell it out for you? Ugh, fine. Fucking dumbass. Using metrics like views and watch time as a way to gauge and estimate the success of a production is all fine and dandy. But these metrics are nothing more than that, metrics. The problem begins when these metrics become how success is defined, how quality is defined. The views and the watch time are high, therefore the production is successful and high quality. Views and watch time are low, therefore this production is low quality and unsuccessful. And the problem skyrockets when these metrics are then turned into targets to hit. Instead of thinking, how can we improve the plot, the writing, the storytelling of this production, you start to think, how can we increase the watch time? How can we increase the number of views? And at that point, you're completely fried. And that's how you get the prioritization of second screenability. In pursuit of the metrics as stand-ins for success, Netflix execs realize that the best way to maximize views and watch time is to make movies and TV shows that people don't even pay attention to, don't even watch, because they're busy scrolling on their phones or working on their computers. And that is exactly what Netflix wants. Ever watched a show that you thought was absolutely amazing? 10 out of 10, laughed, cried, threw up, would recommend to all of your friends, just for it to be unceremoniously canceled the very next season? Now you know why. It wasn't second screenable enough. Maybe if you wanted your show to get renewed for season 2, instead of engaging with it and enjoying it and watching it, you should have just put it on in the background while you scroll on TikTok. Maybe then it would have been good enough to merit a second season. Let's recap. Netflix collects data on views and watch time, conflates these metrics with success, and then pushes productions to hit these metrics by being more second screenable, to the detriment of creativity, risk-taking, innovation, and artistic vision. And the productions that don't hit the target metrics are canceled, and the ones that do are lauded as high-quality, beloved successes. Even if everyone was just folding their laundry while it was playing in the background. So what? I think we're seeing a trend in entertainment towards slop. Things that you put on in the background while you cook, or send emails, or what are your plans, or fluff your pillows. But you've seen the rise of podcasts where people literally just yap at you about whatever the fuck comes to their mind in that second, and let's be honest, you eat that shit up, don't you? You see hours-long YouTube videos that feel like they're teaching you something, but then you just forget them completely 10 minutes after you finish watching. And you see thousands upon thousands of TikToks back to back to back to back to back, rotting your brain from the inside out. And Netflix's shift towards second screenable content is no different. With 2 screens going on at the same time, you can rot your brain at double the speed. Even faster if you put on 2 times speed. Okay, don't tell anybody this because it's hella embarrassing, but I've been in the trenches ever since Netflix took away their 2 times speed option. Yeah, I'm cooked. But so what? Is there a solution? Can we ever be saved from this endless cycle of slop? Nope, we're fucked. Just kidding. I think that after so long of scrolling through Netflix with nothing to watch, people are naturally gonna gravitate towards more engaging, more deeply engaging forms of media. And Netflix will have to naturally adjust. Apparently reading books is making a comeback? Couldn't be me. Imagine that. Knowing how to read. But yes, in our hyper-digital time, people are so fatigued from all of the content, all of the slop, that they're going back to the tried and true. Books. Now, I don't know if they're also playing Netflix in the background at the same time, but I would hope not. But I can't predict the future. I don't own a crystal ball. Maybe if the second screen trend continues, maybe 20 years from now, we'll all be watching 3 different screens of Kung Fu Panda 14, each 40 seconds apart, while we scroll on TikTok in our left hand and send emails in our right hand. Who knows?